Welcome to this session. By the end of this module, you will be equipped with foundational knowledge in social sciences, understand how these fields are applied in real world scenarios, and explore the vital role of counseling in supporting individuals and communities. So, in this slide, it will compare social sciences and applied social sciences. Here is the direction. Read and analyze the words or phrases presented. Choose choose whether it is social science or applied social science. Again, social science seeks to understand human behavior and society through theoretical and academic approaches, while applied social science uses this knowledge to address practical challenges and improve social conditions, encourage the audience to analyze the given examples. Let's determine if anthropology is a social science or an applied social science. Anthropology is considered a social science because it studies human societies, cultures, behavior, and social relationships. Social science are discipline that focuses on understanding how humans behave within societies and how societies function. Let's determine if economics is under social science or applied social science. Economics is considered a social science because it studies how individuals, groups, and societies make choices regarding the allocation of scarce resources to satisfy their needs and wants. Social sciences focuses on understanding human behavior, and economics specifically looks at how people interact with each other and their environments in the context of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Is political science a social science or an applied social science? Political science is considered a social science because it studies systems of governance, political behavior, and the structures, processes, and theories related to power and authority within societies. It focuses on understanding how government function, how policies are made, and how individuals and groups interact within political science or political system. Linguistic is considered a social science because it studies language, a fundamental aspect of human communication and social interaction. It examines how language is structured, used, and evolves within societies. By exploring areas such as syntax, semantics, phonetics, social linguistics, and language acquisitions, linguistics seeks to understand how language shapes and reflects cultural norms, identities, and social relationships, making it an essential tool for analyzing human behavior and social dynamics. Communication Communication is considered an applied social science because it takes theories and principles from various disciplines such as linguistics, psychology, sociology, media studies, and applies them to real-world situations to improve the exchange of information and understanding. Let's talk about social work. Is it social science or an applied social science? Social work is an academic discipline and practice-based profession concerned with meeting the basic needs of individuals, families, groups, communities, and society as a whole to enhance their individual and collective well-being. Social science work practice draws from liberal arts, social science, and interdisciplinary areas such as psychology, sociology, health, political science, community development. Therefore, social work is an applied social science. Let's determine if psychology is under social science or an applied social science. Psychology is a social science or considered social science because it studies human behavior, thoughts, and emotions, focusing on how individuals interact with others and their environments. It seeks to understand the underlying processes that influence behavior both individually and within social groups. Let's determine if sociology is under social science or applied social science. Sociology is considered as social science and came from the Latin word socius, meaning friend or companion. It is a systematic study of people's behavior in group, a systematic study of society and human social action, such as they are trying to identify the race, class, gender, culture, and religion. Counseling, on the other hand, is an applied social science. It is a field within the applied social sciences focuses on helping individuals, families, and groups improve their well-being, address personal challenges, and develop coping strategies. Can you differentiate social sciences from applied social sciences? Social sciences is to develop a deeper understanding of society and human nature, which may contribute to academic knowledge, theoretical frameworks, or general insights into how the world works. While applied social sciences is to apply social science knowledge to real world situation in order to improve social conditions, solve problems, and to help individuals, communities, or organization overcome challenges. Let us now discuss our main topic, which is counseling. Counseling, it comes from the Latin word consilium, meaning plan, counsel, wisdom, and advice. It is a field within the applied social sciences that focuses on helping individuals, families, and groups improve their well-being, address personal challenges, and develop coping strategies. According to World Health Organization, counseling is a talking therapy that aims to help individuals understand and cope with life issues or challenges. It involves the counselor and the client working together to explore feelings, emotions, and thoughts with the goal of improving mental health and coping strategies. In addition, according to American Counseling Association, counseling is a professional relationship that empowers diverse individuals, families, and groups to accomplish mental health, wellness, education, and career goals. It focuses on assisting clients to resolve personal challenges and promote personal development. So let's talk about now the common misconception about counseling. Class, when we talk about misconception, ang ibig sabihin ng misconception is a wrong belief or maling paniniwala natin. So, ano ba yung mga maling paniniwala natin when we talk about counseling? So, the first one daw is counseling is only for crazy people. So, this is the first misconception about counseling. So, this misconception stigmatizes counseling by associating it with only severe mental illness. But in reality, counseling is a resource for anyone seeking support, personal growth, or coping strategies for everyday challenges. It's about mental health or mental wellness and not just mental illness. So, kagaya ng pagpunta natin sa doktor pag masakit yung ulo natin, o kaya sa dentista pag masakit yung ngipin natin, counseling is also like consulting in a professional or in a health allied para mag-debrief or mag-consult about personal growth, coping strategies, and seeking support. Okay? Next one, or the next misconception is counseling is only about talking and venting. So, while talking is the core component of counseling, counseling also involves structured approaches like cognitive behavioral technique, goal setting, problem solving strategies. It is an active, collaborative process aimed at achieving specific outlines. So it is not only about talking and venting at pag-iyak, but also there is a structured approaches. Ano yung mga structured approaches like cognitive behavioral technique, goal setting, and problem solving. So, in your subject in DISS, we talk about Sigmund Freud, the rational choice theory. So, those theories could be applied into counseling to make it more structuralized and goal-oriented. Okay? So, the next misconception is only people with serious problem need counseling. So counseling is not only limited to severe or crisis situation. Many individuals seek counseling to improve relationships, enhance self-awareness, or manage stress, even if their problems seem minor. So, ang counseling po ay hindi lamang para sa mga seryosong problema, but also yung mga minor problem and even stress, managing self-awareness, and improving relationship. Okay? Next is counseling is only for adults. It is a common misconception about counseling na yung counseling is only offered for adults. But it's a no. Counseling is valuable for individuals of all ages, including children and adolescents. It helps younger clients to navigate developmental challenges, family dynamics, and academic or social pressures. So also, counseling is also for students like you whenever you have career choices difficulties, nahihirapan kayong pumili ng career choice nyo, what are the courses na iti-take nyo sa college, you can consult a counselor for you to guide them and to assist them and to arrive at a suitable decision or appropriate decision para sa inyo. Okay? Let's proceed with number 5. Counseling is only for personal or psychological issues. Counseling extends beyond personal problems to include career guidance, workplace challenges, and other areas like financial stress or major life transitions. So, hindi lang po kinikater ni counseling ang personal and psychological issues, but also like what I've said, it also include or it also cater career choices or career guidance, workplace challenges, and other um, problem like financial stress, um, managing times, and also major life transitions. Okay? Number 6 is counseling will tell you what to do. So it is a common misconception about counseling. The counselor will tell you what to do, but it's a no again. Counselors don't provide direct solutions or impose decision. Instead, they guide clients to explore their feelings, identify options, and make empowered decisions. The main role of a counselor is to guide the client, explore their feelings, identify options, and make empowered decisions. and not to impose decisions and give direct solution. At the end of the day, the counselor will only help the client. The counselor will only assist the client. But, yun nga, kagaya nga nasabi ko, at the end of the day, the client will always have the last decision, the last say, kung ano ang dapat niyang gawin, kung anong gusto niyang gawin. Okay? Counselors are here to guide, to make an empowered decision. Okay? And to reach your fullest potential. Next common misconception about counseling is that counseling is expensive and not accessible. Well, at some point, we could see that it is not accessible, pero ngayon that mental health is really empowered in our situation, in our society, I think counseling and psychological intervention or psychological help are accessible now. Okay? So, while counseling can sometimes be costly, there are many affordable and even free options available such as community counseling services, online therapy platforms, and support groups. Additionally, some workplaces, schools, and insurance plans offer mental health benefits that include counseling. Accessibility continues to improve globally as mental health becomes a priority in public health policies. So noon, medyo hindi na pa-prioritize talaga ang mental health. But now that we have the internet and the resources, nagkakaroon ng justification that mental health really matters. Okay? So let's proceed with another misconception about counseling. So counseling is only for Western problems. So this is a misconception stem from the belief that counseling is based solely on Western cultural norms. But in reality, counseling has evolved to be culturally sensitive and adaptable to diverse cultural, social, and personal contexts. Counselors are trained to respect and incorporate clients' cultural beliefs, traditions, and values into the therapeutic process, making it relevant across societies. So, I guess it is not a Western problem anymore, but it is a global problem. So, hindi lang Western ang nakakaramdam nito, ang nakaka-experience nito, but also as Filipinos are experiencing some sort of mental problem, specifically nung pandemic, right? Hindi tayo nakaalis noon, nasa bahay lang tayo. So, um, we go a lot with, we go with a lot of things. Napakabilis ng buhay noon. Everything happens in a snap. Okay? So, it is not a Western problem anymore. Okay? Let's proceed with the next. I think this is the last. Counselor will solve all my problems. So, this is a misconception when we talk about counseling and consulting a counselor that at the end of the session, the counselor will solve all the problems. But in reality, counseling is not about having someone else solve your problems, but about empowering you to find your own solutions. Counselors provide tools, techniques, and guidance to help clients understand their issues, developing coping strategies, build resiliency. So the process is collaborative with the client actively participating in setting goals and working towards them. So again, for us na tayo ay for example, we are a client, um we could have or we could find solution if we are in the process of being um collaborative. with our counselor. So, kung tayo ba ay nakikipag-collaborate with our counselor, and then, at I think, mag-a-arrive tayo into a solution, an empowering solution. Okay? So, also, the counselor provide tools and techniques and guidance to help the client arrive in their fullest potential or arrive to solve their problem. Okay? I hope you get it. People who use counseling in their work. So, sino nga ba yung mga tao na gumagamit ng counseling sa trabaho nila? Counselings and clinical psychologists. So, these professionals are specifically trained in therapeutic techniques and psychological theories. They help individuals deal with mental health issues, emotional challenges, and behavioral problems using approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy and solution-focused therapy. So, usually makikita natin si counseling or clinical psychologist sa ospital, or sa clinic, or halimbawa sa isang psychological clinic or office, yung mga yan. Welfare workers. So these are support individuals and families dealing with financial, housing, or social difficulties. By incorporating counseling skills, they guide their clients through emotional distress, helping them find stability and access resources to improve their quality of life. Third one is teachers. Teachers often act as informal counselors, especially for students dealing with academic stress, bullying, or personal problems. They use counseling skills to listen, guide, and provide emotional support, fostering a positive learning environment. So usually, na-experience natin yan kapag may problema tayo, lalo na yung mga estudyante, kayong mga estudyante, kapag kayo ay may problema, ang una nating nilalapitan ay ang mga teachers natin. And then afterwards, they are trying to refer you to the guidance office or to the guidance counselor. Why? Kasi you need to have a proper evaluation, psychological evaluation, or you need to have a proper help, lalo na when we talk about psychological problem like stress, time management, bullying, or personal problems pa man yun. Okay? Nurses, health visitors, and midwives also conduct counseling. So these healthcare professionals frequently encounter patients experiencing physical and emotional challenges such as chronic illness, childbirth, or end-of-life care. Counseling skills enable them to provide compassionate care, listen actively, and address the emotional needs of their patients or clients. Okay? Occupational and speech therapists. Occupational and speech therapists use counseling techniques to support clients coping with physical or communication challenges. They help clients manage frustration, build confidence, and set achievable goals for improvement. So, hindi lang yung mga guidance counselor nakikita natin sa school. So, pwede rin natin silang makita sa ospital, minsan nga sa court, nakikita rin natin sila. They are testifying. So, yung mga ganun, okay? Social workers support individuals, families, and communities facing social or personal challenges. Counseling is a core part of their work as they help clients navigate issues like family dynamics, abuse, addiction, and legal matters, empowering them to make positive changes. Physiotherapists often work with individuals recovering from injuries, surgeries, or chronic pain. Counseling skills help them to address the emotional impact of these conditions motivating clients to stay committed to their rehabilitation plans. So, syempre, kapag tayo nagkakaroon ng injuries, surgeries, or um, physical problem or physical challenges like mahirap maglakad, may mga ginagawa tayo dati na hindi na natin nagagawa, counseling is very helpful in addressing the emotional impact of these conditions. So, yung mga conditions na yon, meron siyang psychological impact sa atin na minsan kapag hindi natin na-handle ng maayos, na nagko-contribute into worsening the condition. Okay? Next is ministers of religion. Religious leaders often provide counseling in the form of spiritual guidance and emotional support. They help individuals deal with grief, relationship issues, and moral dilemmas, offering advice that aligns with the client's faith or values. So again, here in ministers of religion, the counselor or the religious leaders do not impose their faith or their personal faith or values, but instead, they are aligning it with the client's faith or values. Bawal po kasing mag-impose o kaya magdikta sa ating kliyente ng kung ano dapat ang belief system na dapat meron sila. Like for example, ako, counselor ako, tapos ang belief system ko ay ganito, bawal magsama ang lalaki sa lalaki. Pero ang kliyente ko ay open siya into LGBT community. So, bawal po ako mag-impose ng ganun kasi it is an ethical um, consideration or ethical problem that will be a problem later on. Okay? So another group of people that perform counseling is voluntary and youth workers. Although they are young and ito ay mga volunteer lang, these workers engage with individuals or group facing various social challenges. Counseling skills enable them to build trust, foster communication, and offer guidance to help clients navigate their difficulties and achieve personal growth. So, yung mga ganitong klase ng grupo, they undergo seminar or training. Like, for example, yung mga nasalanta ng bagyo. Usually, they are giving PFA, psychological first aid. And not everyone is equipped with psychological first aid. Inaaral po ito. We are undergoing with the seminar and workshop for us to give the best um, services na pwede para sa kanila. Kasi when we talk about psychological first aid, ito yung mga tao na nagdi-deal ng stress, traumatic experiences. So, kailangan natin sila i-debrief and not everyone is capable of that kasi ito po ay pinag-aaralan. Remember, class, that when we talk about counseling, we are handling or we are catering individuals or a person, an individual, a human being. So, ibig sabihin nun, kailangan natin maging delicate. And we try to be as approachable and genuine as possible. So, we already discussed about group of people who conduct counseling. And now, let's proceed with the goals of counseling. So, we have here I think 6 goals of counseling. And the first one is promoting growth and development. So, the goal of the counseling is to promote growth and development. Counseling aims to foster personal growth by helping individuals develop self-awareness, self-esteem, and emotional intelligence. This involves understanding one's strength and weakness and potential, which can lead to be more fulfilling and balanced life. It empowers individuals to evolve in their personal and professional lives by overcoming barriers to success and happiness. So remember, class, there are some people na hindi nila alam ang strength and weakness nila. And by not knowing their strength and weakness, they consume a lot of time making wrong decisions in life. And that could lead to regret, 'di ba? And with the help of counseling, the client help the counselor helped the client to develop self-awareness, self-esteem, and emotional intelligence. So, this will determine their strength. This will help them to determine their strength, weakness, and potential na makakatulong sa kanila to have a more fulfilling life. Okay? Next one is exploring difficult feelings. Another goal of counseling is to explore difficult feelings. So people often come to counseling to work through challenging emotions such as grief, anger, anxiety, sadness, or frustration. So counseling provides a safe and non-judgmental space to explore these feelings, understand their origins, and learn how to process them effectively. And this can lead to emotional healing and resilience. So, minsan, whenever we are feeling something that is difficult to express, nagkakaroon tayo ng hindi natin napaprocess yung thoughts natin, yung emotions natin. And that could lead to frustration, anger, and minsan harming oneself and other. So, as a counselor, we need to provide a safe and non-judgmental space to explore this kind of feelings para maintindihan natin kung saan nanggagaling and para matutunan natin to process these emotions effectively. And if we were able to process this effectively and with the right technique and um, procedure, I think we could lead to an emotional healing and resilience. Okay? Number three is improving relationship. So, one of the goal of counseling is to improve relationship, whether it's family dynamics, romantic relationships, friends, workplace interaction. Counseling helps client improve communication, resolve conflict, and build healthier connections. It provides tools to understand others' perspective, express oneself effectively, and navigate complex relational dynamics. So, isa yun sa mga goals ng counseling to improve relationship, not just relationship with others, but also relationship with yourself. Number four is enhancing coping skills. Life challenges can be overwhelming, and counseling equips individuals with practical strategies to manage stress, anxiety, and other difficulties. These skills may include mindfulness techniques, problem-solving approaches, or stress management practices tailored to the individual's unique needs. So, minsan, when life throws you um, a lot of struggles or a lot of problem, it became overwhelming. So for us, counselor, we need to be equipped for the client, for us to help the client to be equipped with their individual problem and practical strategies to manage stress, anxiety, and other difficulties. So, yung mga skills na to could include mindfulness techniques, problem-solving approaches, stress management practices. Pag sinabi nating mindfulness techniques, ito yung relaxation, nafi-filter natin yung thoughts natin. Kasi minsan pag galit tayo, hindi natin ma-filter yung ang bilis ng thoughts natin, nag-i-snap tayo. But with the mindfulness techniques, hindi kagad tayo naiinis. Kasi we are aware of our emotions. Number five is facilitating behavioral change. When a certain behavior negatively impact one's life, such as procrastination, unhealthy habits, or avoidance, counseling can guide individuals in identifying and modifying this behavior. It often involves setting realistic goals, creating actionable plans, and developing accountability mechanism to support positive changes. So, isa sa mga goals ng counseling is to facilitate behavioral change into their client. So, ano yung mga behavioral change na kailangan nating baguhin? These are negative behavior. Ito yung mga behavior na may negative impact sa buhay natin. Ano ba yung mga klase ng negative behavior na may na nakaka hindi nakakatulong sa atin? One is procrastination, pagiging tamad, okay? Unhealthy habits like um, excessive drinking, yung mga yan, okay? Avoidance with what? Avoidance with the conflict, avoidance with communication. So this behavior could negatively affect one's life. And counseling can guide individuals in identifying and modifying this behavior. Kailangan kasi alam ni client or aware si client that this behavior, that what I'm doing is negative, or what I'm doing has a negative impact on myself. Kasi pag hindi aware si client, hindi siya willing magbago. Okay? Next is exploring choices and making decisions. So, the last goal of counseling is exploring choices and making decisions. In times of uncertainty or major life transitions, counseling can help clients explore their options, clarify their values, and make informed decision. This process involves weighing pros and cons, considering long-term impacts, and aligning choices with personal goals and aspirations. So remember, class, that when you are making a decision, you need to align your choices with your personal goals and aspiration. Baka kasi mamaya nagde-decide kayo hindi para sa personal goals nyo or sa dream nyo or sa target nyong gustong mangyari sa buhay nyo, but rather you are um you are making a decision because ito yung gusto ng magulang nyo, ito yung magpapagaan sa kanila. Okay? So minsan kasi kailangan nating i-consider din yung sarili natin. Lagi dapat kino-consider natin yung sarili natin whenever we are making a decision. And also, weighing the pros and cons of those decision. Kasi, remember class na, once you decide on something, there is a consequence from that um, decision that you have made. Okay? According to Gibson and Mitchell, 2023, the following are the goals of counseling. So, iba naman to kay Gibson and Mitchell 2023. So, we have 9 goals of counseling. The first one daw is development goals or developmental goals. So, this aim to assist client in advising their human growth across various dimensions, including social, personal, emotional, and cognitive, and physical wellness. Second is preventive goal. Focus on helping clients avoid undesired outcomes such as failing grades by equipping them with strategies to prevent issues. To prevent prote- to prevent potential issues. Third is enhance goals, aimed at developing clients' special skills and abilities, fostering personal growth beyond mere problem solving. Fourth is remedial goal. This involves assisting client in overcoming and treating undesirable developments, helping them return to a healthier state. Number 5, exploratory goals. Examine or encouraging clients to examine options, test skills, and try new activities, facilitating self-discovery and broadening their experiences. Number 6 is reinforcement goals, helping client recognize that their current thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are appropriate, reinforcing positive patterns. 7 is cognitive goals. It involves the acquisition of foundational learning and cognitive skills, enabling clients to process information effectively. Number 8 is physiological goals, aiming to instill an understanding and habits conducive to good health, promoting clients' physical well-being. And lastly, psychological goals, assisting clients in developing social interactions or social interaction skills, emotional control, and positive self-concept, contributing to overall mental health. What are the scope of counseling? We have three: individual counseling, marital and premarital counseling, and lastly, family counseling. So when we talk about individual counseling, these are identity problems, relationship, anxiety, depression, family problem, behavioral management, gender or identity and sexuality, grief or bereavement, relationship, sexual abuse, the recovery, workplace stress, relationship, drug abuse, eating disorder, spirituality, status, and middle age syndrome. Usually, kapag sinabi nating individual counseling, isa lang po ang client natin dito or isa lang ang ini-interview ni counselor. Next one is the marital or premarital counseling. So, marital and relationship dynamics, yan yung mga tinatakal dyan. Relationship and fertility issues, yan po ang mga concerns kapag sinabi nating marital and premarital counseling. Usually, sino po ang mga client dito? Mag-asawa po, pwede po silang i-counsel ng sabay, pwede pong hindi muna sabay, si wife muna or si husband muna, and then later on, they are conducting both or they are attending the counseling together. Third one is family counseling. So, this involves children and adult behavior, divorce, annulment, and separation. Here in the Philippines, we only have annulment and separation. So, these problems, like, yun nga, nabanggit ko, annulment and separation, are also under family counseling. Family problem, life stages, transitions, parenting, and remarriage relationship counseling. So, yan yung mga problema po or yan yung mga scope ng counseling. So here are the other scope of counseling: addiction, abuse of alcohol and other drugs. So ito yung mga drug dependent, they are using illegal drugs, naging dependent na sila, and it interfered their life. So ibig sabihin, habang gumagamit sila ng illegal drug or illegal drugs, nagiging magulo yung buhay nila. Nag-interfere ito sa buhay nila, sa daily living nila. Hindi na nila nagagampanan yung pagiging nanay, pagiging tatay, kasi nga naging dependent sila sa drug. So, next one is adjustment issues, including adjustment to college life. So, yan din ang ina-attend or kinikater ni counseling, anger management, anxiety, post-disaster adjustment. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina about PFA, yung mga nasalanta ng bagyo. They have psychological first aid kasi nga naman, for example, yung mga uh, na apektuhan ng Typhoon Yolanda, 'di ba? Ang daming namatay doon, sobrang daming namatay doon. And they need to have psychological first aid. Hindi lang physical health ang kailangang i-attend doon, but also their emotional stability kailangan ding i-check doon during that time na maraming namatay. So imagine, nung Typhoon Yolanda, isa lang ang nabuhay out of the family. So it will be a big adjustment because in a snap, nawala lang lahat. So, isa yun sa mga kailangan i-attend ng isang counselor or scope ng counseling. And then, coping with the loss of loved ones. So, isa yan sa mga need na i-cater ng isang counselor. Communication difficulties, depression and eating disorder, gender preference difficulty and sexual orientation, relationship difficulties and problems, violation and physical abuse, sexual assault, stress management. So, yung mga abuse na yan, kailangan yan i-debrief, kailangan yan i-undergo ng debriefing process. Why? Kasi if not given a debriefing process or kung hindi nag-undergo ng debriefing, possible na yung mga emotions na naramdaman nila will not be processed. Hindi siya napag-usapan. Kaya, there is no healing from that. Okay? Yan, suicidal tendencies, traumatic experiences, family disorganization, bullying. So, when we talk about suicidal tendencies, these are very serious matter na hindi dapat natin ginagawang biro. Kasi we talk about life. So let's proceed now with the principle of counseling. First is acceptance. Counselor must fully accept clients as they are, recognizing their uniqueness, strength, and limitation without trying to impose personal biases or judgments. This creates a safe and supportive environment where client feel valued and respected. So, isa sa mga principles or isa sa mga prinsipyo o parang um, pamantayan ng isang counselor is acceptance. You need to fully accept the client as they are. And you try to identify their uniqueness, their strength, and limitations without imposing your personal belief or biases. So, halimbawa, hindi ka agree dun sa kanyang personal belief, hindi mo pwedeng i-impose yung sarili mong gusto, yung sarili mong paniniwala dahil yun lang ang paniniwala mo. So, kailangan mong irespeto at tanggapin kung ano yung personal belief niya. But also, you try to recognize ano yung mga strength and weakness niya para at least siya mismo ang makakapag-isip kung ano ba yung magiging solusyon sa problema niya. But again, we need to accept the client as they are. And hayaan natin si client mismo ang magbago, mag-decide na magbago para sa kanyang sarili. We should not impose. Next is communication. Communication is an effective counseling relies on clear, honest, and open communication. Counselors must actively listen to clients, provide thoughtful feedback, and ensure that their verbal and nonverbal messages align to build trust and understanding. So, in counseling, hindi kagad natin minsan nakukuha ang trust ng client natin. But, if we could communicate, we became honest, clear, about our objectives and to try to establish an open communication, I think mas mamimit natin yung goal natin into counseling. And counselors must actively listen. Hindi lang siya communication na nagsasalita si client, nagsasalita si counselor, but also, as a counselor, we need to actively listen with the verbal and non-verbal cues na sinasabi ng ating client. Kasi minsan, sinasabi ng client natin na masaya siya, but based on his or her verbal cues, hindi siya ganun ka-comfortable. Next is acceptance. Next is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Counselors strive to see the world from their client's perspective, which foster a deeper connection and help clients feel genuinely understood. So empathy is like you are trying to uh, you are putting yourself in the shoes of other. So, yun ang empathy. So, nararamdaman mo yung nararamdaman niya kahit hindi mo naranasan yung experience niya. Kasi, you are trying to fit in their shoes. And that will help the client na, may nakakaintindi sa akin. Yun. So, the ability to understand and share the feelings to other. Next is non-judgment. Counselor must not create a non-judgment atmosphere where clients feel free to express themselves without fear of criticism or disapproval. This principle is essential for building trust and encouraging honest communication. So, isa sa mga um, kailangan ma-meet ni counselor is to establish trust with his or her client. At mamimit lang natin yung trust na yun or makukuha lang natin yung trust na yun if we create a non-judgmental atmosphere. Kasi nga naman, kung hindi naman, kung nafe-feel naman ng client na hindi siya pwedeng magsalita, parang mukhang judgmental tong aking counselor, hindi ako mag-open up with my problem. Kasi usually, ang pinakamahirap sa isang kliyente ay mag-open up ng kanyang problema. The first thing to do is to open up. Pero ang hirap-hirap gawin na magsalita ka ng problema mo. Okay? Next is confidentiality. Confidentiality is the counselors are obligated to keep clients' information private, sharing it only with explicit consent or when required by law. This principle is crucial for maintaining trust and ensuring clients feel safe to discuss sensitive issues. So, isa sa mga principles in counseling is the confidentiality. So, the counselor is obliged to keep client information private. So, hindi natin pwede i-share sa iba. Kung tayo ay counselor, hindi natin pwede i-chika or ikwento sa iba ang problema ng ating kliyente. Why? Kasi it will break the confidentiality of our client. And hindi natin mamimaintain yung trust at hindi natin may ensure yung client natin na we are safe, yung problem mo ay safe sa akin. Kasi nga, nabalitaan na ikaw ay chumichika sa iba at kinukwento mo ang problema ng kliyente mo sa iba. Okay? So, unless confidentiality might break unless it is required by law or sharing it with explicit consent. Pwede i-share if may consent, pwede ring i-share if required by law. Another thing na magbe-break ng confidentiality is if the client is harming his or herself or may intention na siya na saktan ang ibang tao. Okay? Again, mabe-break lang po ang confidentiality ng counseling kung may consent ng client na sabihin ang problema niya. Pangalawa, ni-required ng law na sabihin, ilabas ang record ng certain client mo. May mga, halimbawa may mga warrant o kaya may mga hinihingi yung law, yung Supreme Court o kaya yung korte ng mga document, kailangan mo talagang mag-oblige din doon. And next one is, kaya magbe-break ang confidentiality is if the client is in danger or if the client is expressing danger towards other person. Kung mananakit na siya. Halimbawa, in counseling, sabi, gusto ko na siyang patayin, ganyan. So, ikaw ba? Siyempre, bilang counselor, kailangan mo i-inform yung mga um, individual, concerned individual. Okay? Next is number 6. Let's proceed with number 6, individuality. So each client is unique and counseling should be tailored to the specific needs, experiences, and goals. Recognizing individuality ensures that the approach respects and aligns with the client's values and preference. So yung individuality, hindi pwedeng ang tingin ni counselor is lahat ng kliyente niya, itong approach na to ang gagamitin. Lahat ng kliyente niya, mindfulness lang ang ibibigay natin. Paano kung financial or career choices pala ang kailangan niyang gawin, ang concern niya? Paano kung career choices pala ang problema niya? Anong gagawin natin? Mindfulness pa rin ba ang kailangan gawin? 'Di ba hindi na? Ibang goals na or ibang uh, uh, structured na or um, approach na ang gagawin. Okay? Next is non-emotional involvement. When we talk about non-emotional involvement, empathy is key. Counselor must maintain professional boundaries and avoid becoming emotionally entangled in their clients' issues. This ensure objectivity and allows them to provide effective guidance. So, hindi tayo pwedeng ma-attach with their emotions during the counseling. Why? Kasi although we need to exercise empathy, we need to have a non-emotional involvement kasi kapag nagkaroon na tayo ng emotional involvement, parang masyado na tayo naapektuhan, nawawala yung objectivity or nagiging bias tayo. At dapat natin yung iwasan, yung pagiging bias. Kasi baka mamaya, we are too attached with our client na hindi na natin siya natutulungan na i-identify yung mga thoughts niya kung tama pa ba or hindi kasi nga bias na tayo, mas pinabura na natin yung client natin kaysa dun sa objective ng counseling. Number 8 principle is autonomy. So ilagay ko muna lahat ha. Okay. Autonomy, counselor respect clients' right to make their own decision and support their journey towards self-determination. This principle encourage independence and personal responsibility. Again, as a counselor, we do not impose our personal belief. We do not impose decisions. We need our clients to make their own decision and support their journey towards self-determination. So kahit na hindi tayo aligned with our values and preference, we we do not impose, hindi natin sila didiktahan, but instead, make them empower with their choices. Kung ano ba yung mga choices nila sa buhay. Okay? Next is justice. Justice, counselors should treat all clients fairly and equitably, providing equal access to care regardless of their background, belief, or circumstances. Justice ensure ethical and inclusive practice. So, ibig sabihin po nito, we are fair and equal to everyone, regardless of their background, belief, or cultural differences. So, justice ensure ethical and inclusive practice para po ito sa lahat. So, hindi tayo bias, yung mga ganong bagay. Okay? Non-maleficence. Okay. This principle means do no harm. Counselors are committed to avoiding actions or interventions that could harm the client, ensuring their well-being is priority. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po natin i-harm si client and we are committed to avoid actions or interventions na makakapagpa-trigger kay client. So, dapat nga, we need to know them better para at least we could handle them and we cause, we, we do no harm. Next is beneficence. Beneficence is involving or it involves actively working in the best interest of the client, promoting their welfare, and striving to enhance their well-being through counseling intervention. So, beneficence meaning best interest ni client po ang iniisip natin. Kung ano ang magandang, kung ano ang kapakanan or magiging pinaka-the best na um, desisyon para kay client o kaya ano yung kapakanan ng client, yun yung iniisip natin, yung kapakanan ni client. At hindi kapakanan natin na kaya pala hindi natin nire-refer si client sa iba or hindi natin siya nire-refer sa isang psychologist kasi gusto natin sa atin lang siya kasi malaking magbigay ng bayad. So, hindi sa ating interest yun. Hindi sa kanyang interest yun or sa client na interest, but instead, interest natin yung pinangangalagaan natin kasi ayaw natin siya i-refer, ayaw natin siyang gumaling kasi gusto natin tayo ang magpapagaling sa kanya. Well, in fact, hindi na naman tayo nakakatulong sa mga counseling sessions natin. So, nagigets po. So, again, beneficence is the best interest of the client, promoting their welfare and not the welfare of the counselor. Next is fidelity. Fidelity refers to maintaining trustworthiness and honoring commitments made to clients. This includes reliable, honest, and consistent in therapeutic relationship. So, kailangan po nating ma-maintain yung pagiging trustworthiness natin, honoring commitments made to clients. So, kung nangako tayo kay client na hindi natin sasabihin yung problema nila, talaga natin dapat kailangang sabihin. Pero, we need to be honest and consistent in the therapeutic relationship. Why? Kasi hindi mag-open up si client or hindi tayo makakapag-establish ng rapport if we are not consistent, we are not reliable, we are not honest, and we are not trustworthy. And lastly, veracity. Veracity means being truthful with clients, ensuring transparency and honest in all communication. This fosters trust and support the integrity of the counseling process. So during the counseling process, the client or the counselor, rather, the counselor must be truthful with the client. So the counselor must be transparent and honest in all communication. Like for example, client, ma'am, sir, I think hindi po natin nami-meet yung objectives natin with the counseling. I might refer you to a psychiatrist or psychologist for you to have a better understanding o kaya for you to arrive, for you to meet the goal. Okay? So, being truthful with the client. Kasi, isa yun sa mga kailangan nating i-earn sa client natin. Dahil unang-una nga, hindi kagad sila nagtitiwala because of the experiences that they had. So, ayun po. And this ends my presentation. Again, I am Miss Regine Ann Mojica. Thank you for listening and please do read the PowerPoint and good luck on your exam. Bye. God bless.